Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Becca with House of Lenormand. Today is Wednesday, September 25th. I wanted to say hello and welcome to all of the new subscribers. And here it is. Here's the grand tableau for Jared Kushner. I wanted to go ahead and make a quick note. I am filming this video on my iPad. I'm trying to speak as clearly and loudly as I can. The reason I'm filming on my iPad is because I do not want to run the risk of filming on my computer and iMovie take a crap. Because if I did, I would lose my mind if that happened. I wanted to go ahead and say I had made one of those little message post things on YouTube, and I asked you guys what you were seeing here, and I got a lot of wonderful feedback. However, I had to go on my husband's, on his app to see it, because for some reason it doesn't show up on mine, so I don't even know how that works. But you guys had a lot of really cool stuff. You saw this up here, you know, so that was really cool, and we're going to go through all of this together. I wanted to let you guys know, we're going to, as events unfold, we may need to bring this back up and review it again. The grand tableau has everything. Think about when you're on your phone and you snapshot something. You can zoom in and you can zoom out. It's the same concept here. It depends on how deep we go. So as events unfold, more stuff will be revealed, and then we can pull this back up and we can identify exactly where it's at and look to see further into whatever area comes up. I have put this on my little working copy here. The timeline was from October 2019. I messed that up. This is supposed to be April 2020. And the reason that I do this is so that I can see what houses are where. So one thing that I did note, the birds and the bouquet are both mirroring each other, meaning that the birds is in the house of bouquet and the bouquet is in the house of birds. So there's an important message here. Also, the fish landed in its own house. That's very, very, very important. This is his column right here. He landed right here. This is his present line. The timeline that I tried to set for this grand tableau was from October till April. Well, we can see here we only have 3 columns to look ahead. I'm not sure for timing if this column here is a little over 2 months, this column here is a little over 2 months, and this column here is a little over 2 months to capture the entire 7 months, or if it's only letting me look 3 months ahead, with this being October, November, December, because this is where he's at right now. We opened up the tableau with the coffin. The very first card that opens up the tableau is the coffin. That is an end, a loss, and it could also quite literally be in reference to a box. For timing, that's where I'm getting tripped up, because if this is talking about the end that's being delivered, the end could quite possibly be in December, towards the end of the year. And the reason that I'm saying that is because here in Donald Trump's grand tableau, I had said once we get to September and the investigation starts, he's done. And he has the coffin in the house of Moon at the very end of his tableau. So the news of the separation that's coming in October, well, this may be all over by the time we get to December, with the coffin being the final card in the tableau. The coffin lands in the house of Moon, which is his career. So here's October, what we're getting into. The time as it moves forward this way could be talking about the separation that comes in October and he's done by December. So I'm not sure if this is saying the end of this tableau is not 7 months ahead. It could just be 3 months. I'm not sure for timing on this. Also, since I have more to work with on his past, if I could figure out when these events happened, that would give me a little bit better gauge on how the timing is working, so then I can use that timing here to figure out the timing here in these 3 rows. But I don't have that information. I don't know. So that's just a quick note on the timing, but the intent was to go forward 7 months. So just please keep that in mind. I use the housing system, meaning wherever each card lands is a house. So the first house is always the rider, followed by the clover, the ship, the house, the tree, so on and so forth throughout the tableau. Think of it as if you were to put all these cards in order 1 through 36, that would be the houses. Those are always stationary. They do not change. What changes is what lands in the houses. So please keep in mind that I do use the housing system when doing a tableau. I also wanted to note that I do not use directionality. Some readers do. I choose not to. So the way that I approach this is his present, where he lands. Everything to the left of him is his past. Everything to the right is what's coming up. So just please keep that in mind, that I do not use directionality. So I hope that was I hope that was good. And if you have trouble hearing, please make sure to turn on the closed captioning for this one, okay? So I don't know how long this video is going to run. I took your feedback. You guys said jump in, so I'm jumping in. I don't know how long this is going to take us. I'm going to go off of your feedback for this one, for when we do William Barr's Grand Tableau. So please let me know in the comments section, you know, because once we dive in, I have no clue how far down the rabbit hole we're going to go. Okay, so let's jump in. So here we can see that the first 3 cards that opened up his tableau is the coffin, the fox, and the letter. This is something that could quite literally be news of an ending, news of a loss, news of a death, or perhaps it's just talking about a box. And we can see some sort of fraudulent mail here, or a fraudulent report, or some sort of fraudulent document. It's looking like, if this is in reference to a box, there's some sort of meeting that could be taking place in an area that is closed off, with the birds being followed by the book there. So I don't know if this is like some sort of, like I said earlier in previous videos, some sort of a skiff. I do not know if he has access to a skiff, but this could be like a super sensitive, highly classified area where there are meetings that are held. Well, whatever is being talked about there, if it involves classified information, look at what follows it. It's being stolen. And it's not a huge theft. It's like mice don't steal everything right away. They nibble at things, and they take away little by little. So if this is in reference to conversations that are taking place perhaps in some sort of a confidential area, because the book follows the birds here, these could be secret negotiations or secret meetings, perhaps in a very closed off area. Whatever's being talked about there is being delivered with the writer. They're delivering something out of this box, or they are delivering something that should not be delivered, and it's been happening for a long time here with the anchor. This next row here, we're looking at some sort of, this could be, with the fox here, this could be in reference to someone that is perhaps undercover and they're being exposed here. Whatever secret is here that they're talking about in these meetings. It could be in reference to perhaps a person that is undercover. The fox is very covert. It's very, you're not going to be able to identify it right off the bat as you would a snake. The fox is someone that's duplicitous. It's manipulative. It's cunning. It could also be in reference to a spy. So if this is talking about the identity of a person that's undercover working in secret, they're being exposed. The reason that I'm saying that is because we have the stars in the house of the dog. The dog is back over here. He lands in the house of moon, which is your career, your reputation, your honors. It's also could be in light of someone's identity. Well, he has the moon right before it. And the moon is in the house of sun. This could be in reference to exposing the identities perhaps of a person that's undercover here. And the identities and perhaps the access to that information is taking place in confidential meetings, and that information is being stolen. It could also be in reference to perhaps holding meetings, and the information that's being stolen perhaps has to do with technology. I'm not sure if this is talking about perhaps satellite images, or if this is talking about technology in a different sense. But that's being exposed. And it's like they're giving away little bits of secrets, because we have the child in the house of book. Well, this is something smaller, something new, and this is taking away. So it could be talking about the information that's being leaked out here and here, because it's being stolen and being leaked. It's being taken away in small increments. And the child also knights back to the birds, and the child knights back to the mice. So the information that they're stealing, they're giving away through conversations. Remember, we said that the birds is in the house of bouquet, bouquet is in the house of birds. He's stealing the information, whatever is classified, that's perhaps in a box or in a dark room. He's stealing it and exposing it, leaking it out, but it's being done in very small amounts. If this letter here is in reference to the whistleblower report, these two are catty-cornering each other, okay? So this could be someone that's blowing the whistle on what's taking place that's supposed to be confidential. If this is in reference to the whistleblower and perhaps something that is written on a report, it is scathing. The letter lands in the house of the ship. The mice lands in the house of whip. The snake lands in the house of tower. And this down here is the line of fate. We could or could not read it, but I'm going to go ahead and read it in this line. And the crossroads lands back in the house of key. So what this is saying is that there could quite possibly be, with the birds knighting here to the letter, there could be a voicemail with something that, or a document, a voicemail about a document that's coming in from overseas. There is chronic corruption here, and perhaps chronic thievery. Remember, because we have the mice in the house of whip. A betrayal to the government, and that could be what is on this report, because this report is a backlash, or it's really, really, really bad news. It's like some sort of reporting perhaps this person for stealing information and delivering it overseas, either through voicemail with the birds knighting the letter, and it's being transferred out here as well with the letter knighting over to the storks. It has to do with technology as well, perhaps, and that's the opportunity that he's taking there. So it's like they're stealing data, perhaps identifying people that should not be identified. Something to do here with technology, perhaps voicemail, something that could be going on his phone, but it's coming out of a box. The classified data is coming out of a box, and perhaps it's through meetings that he's attending, taking notes, and then delivering that information. I think that we have all deduced that he is the delivery boy, stealing little bits and pieces. That's looking like a very strong possibility, because we have the writer in the house of storks. The storks is right over him. So he could be the one that's stealing stuff out of meetings, stealing stuff out of boxes, stealing stuff perhaps out of a skiff, and delivering that information. And he's been doing it for a long time. But this here, there could have been a phone call or some sort of a voice transcript with something that happened overseas with a foreign, with someone that was foreign, on how they can help reach a goal or something like that. But they've been stealing it and betraying the government. Down this row, it's looking like there's been some sort of growth or some sort of a legacy perhaps within the family, that they've been just talking about stuff that they shouldn't be talking about as a way to transfer that information over. And there was some sort of an opportunity here in a community, it's a large group of people with the clover landing in the house of garden. That could be an opportunity within the country, or an opportunity for this country up here, which I am assuming, because we have the lilies in the house of tree. This is someone that has a royal legacy. The tree is in the house of house, the lilies is in the house of tree. This is a royal legacy. I can probably deduce that there is a strong possibility that this could quite possibly be MBS. And they are foreign. The messages that are being delivered, the letters that are being delivered, this could be a fax, this could be an email, this could be a voicemail, this could be a transcript of a conversation that took place. But the information is being delivered to this person. The lilies is the king of spades. Like I said, royal family, royal legacy. So quite possibly MBS. And it's all coming under the direction of this person. The bear is catty cornering here to the crossroads. This could be two people in positions of authority. So one could quite possibly be his father-in-law, and the other one could quite possibly be an individual that is symbolized by a bear that is foreign, a foreign power here. And I think we can all perhaps deduce who that is. It would be a country that is symbolized by the bear. So there is a possibility of two people in positions of authority that he's taking orders from, or he could be just working with one of them to deliver the information to this person up here. It could be all three. It's a group. It's a small group over here with the birds. And also to note, the anchor lands in the house of ring. And the ring lands in the house of hearts. So that could be saying that this has been a permanent agreement to deliver this information. This could have been set up as a permanent agreement to steal this stuff out of here and deliver it little by little here. Down his present line, we can see that he's, if this is MBS, he's been transferring stuff to him. And it's going to expose a woman. And the woman here in this reading is, I would take it to be Ivanka Trump. He knights to her, he knights over here to the tree. So he could be working in tandem with her to deliver this information, and that's how she gets exposed. This column here, we're seeing a woman that is dangerous, and she's placing a burden on an institution or the government. She lands in the house of clouds. We have the scythe in the house of fox. We have the tower in the house of, oh, I'm sorry, the cross in the house of crossroads. And we have the tower in the house of lilies. This person could have quite possibly put someone's life in danger here with the scythe going back to the fox, or this could have been could just be signaling a dangerous investigation, or trying to cut off an investigation because there's something very burdensome going on here with a choice, or it could be the actual elections, because the crossroads is choices, alternatives, options. It's more than one. It's like two multiples, and it could also be in reference to an election. And we're seeing that she has some sort of seniority within the government or within the institution, but it links back over here. So I'm wondering if she also has ties to this person up here that's royalty, or a family that has a royal legacy. Down this row, we're seeing that there's a love that's been betrayed, and the love that's been betrayed has to do with this person here. He is the key. Either this is the father of her, or two people here, which would be her father and the other person that's a foreign power. She is in a world of poop right here for her involvement in the corruption and the criminality that they've been working to conceal and cover up and cloud over, with the clouds landing back in the house of mice. And then we have all of this stuff here being exposed and brought to light, with the moon landing back in the house of the sun. Down this column here, we're going to be seeing some sort of public loss, with the garden landing in the house of coffin. We're also seeing that there's been a block or some sort of a delay to taking a different route, going in a different directions, perhaps their hopes and dreams. And it could also be quite possibly talking about something that has to do with technology, because we have the mountain in the house of stars. We're seeing a marriage right here with the ring in the house of heart, but it's a false marriage. It's the marriage is going to be betrayed because it goes back to the heart, and the heart is in the house of snake. And then here we're seeing the career or the reputation of a close friend. I don't know who this person is. Perhaps we'll discover that the more that we start looking further into this reading. Across this top row, we're seeing that there's something perhaps that was in a box, or the loss or death of perhaps perhaps of a person that was undercover that wrote a report. This is the royal family here, and this is his wife, that perhaps has a love of socializing, has a love of partying, has a love of being out in the public. But it's false. It's a betrayal, and that comes to an end just because of where these land in the houses. So there's going to be some sort of betrayal here in this relationship, and there's going to be an end to whatever she's been doing in the country or in public. The second row here, we're seeing the secret conversations, or secret negotiations that have been taking place here that are being stolen. So if this is in reference to meetings that are supposed to be confidential, that's where they're getting the information and they're stealing it, and then having conversations here to deliver it. So it's like they're getting the information here. Either, I don't know if this is a skiff, I don't know if this is their access to security clearances, or if this is conversations that are like classified meetings that they're in, that he's taking information out of and then going to a different meeting here and blurting it all out. And that's how it's being transferred. That's perhaps causing a danger to someone's identity that should be covered up or should not be identified. Or it could be causing a danger due to an investigation into these two people. It could also be the end of another investigation, but I don't think that's what it is. And then we're seeing exposing this person down here, two of them, for the delays or blocking something that has to do with technology. So I'm wondering if this is talking about the birds knights over to the letter, and we have the fox next to the letter, and then the fox goes back here to the scythe. I'm not sure if, along with exposing perhaps the identities of people that are covert, that are undercover. I'm also wondering if this is talking, because the coffin is right here. I'm also wondering if this is talking about the death of Kushner, because we have the scythe right back on the fox and the coffin right before it. And remember, it's just horrible to say, but he was dismembered. And there's the scythe. The scythe cuts. It cut this, and that's, you know what I'm saying? So I'm wondering if this is not only talking about the identities of people that are supposed to be not found out, that they're exposing that there, and perhaps it's also talking about his exposure and perhaps hers as well, to give that information to this royal person up here. And that's what caused this person's passing, because he was dismembered with the scythe landing back on the fox. And the fox goes back here to the clover, and it's right before him. Oh man. So down this column here, we're seeing that they're delivering and they're transferring technology under false pretenses as a betrayal to the government, because we have the snake in the house of Tower. So whatever they're stealing up here, and we'll come back and look at this little box of 9, whatever they're stealing from up here, whether that's classified information coming out of a skiff, classified information and confidential briefings, and delivering it to this person, it's a betrayal to the government. And the opportunity that he took there against the country, he's going to have hell to pay here. He lands in the house of Mountain. This is isolation. This is a block. He's blocked somehow. He's stepping right into the cross. The cross is in the house of Crossroads. So it's looking like there's a possibility that he's going to be found guilty on multiple fronts. And it has not only to do with the election, but perhaps also with all this stuff that's going on over here where they're stealing it and leaking it. There's huge trouble for covering up the corruption here. And then you have the solution to this problem. This is where it gets weird. This right here, we can read this very simply as guilty, big trouble, handcuffs. Or we could be reading this as guilty on multiple fronts, covering up corruption, and then the handcuffs that come from her betrayal to him. She is putting the scythe right over his head. You see that? It's catty-cornered here. I'm having a difficult time trying to decipher if this is talking about guilty, big trouble, handcuffs, because he lands in the house of Mountain, which is isolation. He's catty-cornering here to the, what is this, Tower, which is also isolation. And that isolation is coming from this person here. She is nowhere near the birds, okay? She doesn't even knight to the birds. She knights to him. She knights here to the clouds. It could be that the betrayal is coming from her. because, or will be coming from her, because we have, she's right next to the heart, but the heart goes back to the snake. So she could be betraying him and dropping the hammer, and he's the one that gets in trouble. Even though she's looking at some loss here, and I'm going back to her original grand tableau, on Ivanka Trump's original grand tableau, she's heading into some serious crap too. There's fraud, there's big trouble, an end, and isolation. In Jared Kushner, her grand tableau was from August till October. Jared Kushner looks like he's going, here's MBS right here. The lilies in the house of child. Here's Jared Kushner doing shady crap. Here's someone in a position of authority within a country or a very powerful country. And then this is him going on a trip in a new direction. But it's like he leaves. He goes overseas. So I don't know if when this hits the fan based on her tableau, if this guy tries to freaking make a run for it and leaves, or tries to flee the country to avoid this. Or, you know, because she's on her original grand tableau, she's in a world of trouble too. So it's not like she's in the clear. And then if we take a look at the second call on this very last row, I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix the date here on my notes so I don't mess this up. Excuse me. If we look at this last column here, there's a permanent agreement here. There's perhaps a new secret or a small secret. Here is the letter that's quite abusive or quite critical of someone in a position of authority that goes back to him. So this could be his father-in-law. This could also be a foreign country. And here's the exposure of a woman. Something perhaps to do with someone's seniority within the government, also quite possibly to do with this person up here. I'm thinking this is MBS or some sort of royal prince. It's royalty. And then exposing a friend here or someone's reputation here that gets exposed. That's in the government. This last column here, we have the fish in its own house. We are looking at the key to the election. That goes back to this guy. Money's been paid. And it's been coming in through an agreement that's been set up for long term for it to come in from overseas, or the money's being shipped overseas through their properties or their real estate. If this is in reference to back channels that he set, because this could be the elections, this could also be, like I had mentioned, choices, alternatives, options. This could also be in reference to a channel for the money to be delivered overseas to a family. Okay, the fish is landing in its own house. That's very significant. And these two are marrying each other. If this is in reference to a back channel, it could be that he has set up a back channel not only with this foreign power, but also with this person here, because this person here is funding. They're giving money, and it looks like the money is being delivered to foreign properties here or to a foreign family. The house lands back on the house of the cross. The whole damn family is guilty. And the punishment is going to be on multiple fronts. It could be that the punishment comes in for all members of the family. And it could also be that the punishment here could quite literally be the back channels that he set up for this person, because the key goes back to this person here for money. The fish knights here to the snake That's betraying the government for money. And the fish knight's back over here to him, which is, it looks like I said, he's on the House of Mountain. He's got problems. He's got big issues, large obstacles. So it could be his financial problems and how he has betrayed the government in order to alleviate his financial problems. The fish also knights here to the tower. This could be a financial institution that is overseas. This could be a bank, or this could be money with these two here for perhaps townhouses, condos. Because if we look at the tower and the house together, this could be like a very large building that has residences, okay, that was under a lot of trouble with the house in the house of, what is this? The cross. So it could be the financial trouble that he was in, perhaps that had to do with, or that will have to do with properties that are like condos or townhouses or something like that with these two here. But it was under financial duress. But he got the help, he got the assistance from this person up here. And it looks like the assistance was to deliver secrets. Let's take a look at this little box up here, because this has got me scratching my head. This could be a secret conversation that was taking place perhaps in a dark room, a closed off area, and it's being delivered. Whatever conversations were taking place there, it was being delivered. This here could be a covert secret that is being exposed or is being leaked. And here we have a document or some sort of a report that has to do with something that's foreign. And chronic thievery, chronic stealing, chronic corruption, and a betrayal to the government. This row up here, this could be a box that someone is getting into, perhaps, and messaging overseas, either through voicemail with the letter knighting over to the birds. That would be like a voicemail. Here we have the conversations that are taking place in that are secret, or conversations that are taking place in a closed off area that is being stolen, or it could just be corruption that this is in reference to. And then we're seeing the delivery and the transferring of that information, and the identity, or perhaps this could be some sort of technology that has to do with the friend. But it's almost like they're exposing someone's identity here. And then we're seeing the betrayal, and that becomes the betrayal to the government. Let me see here. But what's central to this little box here is the secrets, the stuff that's classified that they're getting into, nibbling away at it and releasing it. I'm trying to figure out who this is. This person is in the house of moon. The moon is right before it, in the house of sun. And the sun is back here. And this could be a company. But see, this tower is nowhere near the stars. So I don't know if this is a tech company and somebody that's working within a tech company that they're giving that data to as well. Or it could just be saying that they're transferring data. They're stealing it and transferring it to this person and this person. And that data could be the exposure of people's identities. Perhaps we're giving them data as well. This could be satellite images. It could be technology as well. but it's small. They're giving them little bits and pieces, small secrets that they're stealing over time. Let's take a look at his double line of 7 here. We're going to look at this double line of 7. We're going to look at this double line of 7. The secrets that are being stolen are being gifted through conversation, and they're transferring small bits of it. And perhaps they've been able to do it, and that is coming to an end because it gets exposed and it goes back to this person. It could also be the end of an investigation, and it could also be the dismemberment of a person that was writing a paper. Okay. And perhaps that's what becomes exposed, his link, because it was a permanent agreement for him to deliver all this stuff as an exchange to set up a back channel through his properties, perhaps through some sort of a condo or a building where there's residences. And that was the agreement that was made between two foreign powers here. One of them could be one that's signified by a bear. The other one could be a royal family. This could also be technology that was secret. And we do know that the administration, I think, not too long ago was talking about giving this person here, the royal family, technology for nuclear stuff. So that might be getting exposed, that this person and this person were paid off through properties for that, and it's a betrayal to the country, and that's the crap he's about to step into here. Man, this guy is dirty. He is freaking dirty, dear God. Let me see here. Here's a secret being exposed, perhaps to do with a new area, a new community, a new, or a small community. He's corrupt, or he's perhaps quite nervous. The gifts that he's been given away, that he's been happy to talk about, are going to prove to be quite burdensome to him on multiple fronts. And the transfer of that data, or the transfer, or perhaps some trips that he's made leaving and returning that has been clouded over or hasn't been talked about, or they've covered up, perhaps that's going to be exposed. And it looks like it had to do with what they were stealing, with the clouds going back here to the mice. It could have to do with stuff that they were stealing and transferring over, that perhaps resulted in the dismemberment of a person that was writing a paper. It could also be danger to people's lives that are working undercover. There's the gift of technology here, with the stars knighting over to the bouquet. That's gifting technology. Well, we know that in the past, the administration gifted these people nuclear technology. So that could be this right here. There's some sort of betrayal to the government, but there's like a small transfer or a new transfer or an upgraded transfer. So this could be leaving and returning, flight by air. So perhaps he's been stealing all this stuff, having meetings with this person, or having other secret meetings here to transfer confidential information that's a betrayal to the government. And here we can see that his luck's about to run out, with the clovers knighting over to the scythe. That's his luck being cut off here and here. He's going to be discovered for everything that he's been doing overseas. This is his present, so I don't know if this is showing up as for the month of October, and then we're looking at November, December, January, or if this is him right now in September, and then we're looking at October, November, December. Either way, all of this betrayal does become exposed here, because he has the sun right underneath him, and it looks like he's been taking a lot of trips overseas to meet with this person here, royal family. He's been taking a lot of trips overseas, and he has been, and the agreement was long term. Give us all of this data and I'll fund you through this channel. I'm going to pause the video real quick. We're at 45 minutes. I got a couple of things to do, and I'll be right back. Give me 1 minute. Okay, everyone, sorry about that. I'm back. So I don't know where I left off, so I'm going to just pick up somewhere. If this is Ivanka Trump in government, look at that. She gets cut off. She gets cut off from government. If this is in reference to her charity, there's a strong possibility that that gets shut down. And the reason that I'm saying that is because I'm bouncing this off of Trump's original grand tableau. We see here the anchor in the house of coffin, the woman in the house of stars, the garden in the house of heart, which could be a charitable organization, and then the coffin in the house of moon. So that could be just talking about her charity getting shut down and her access to the government gets cut off. Okay, for Jared Kushner, let me see here. Yeah, he's about to step into a world of trouble. Let's look at his little box of 9 here. It looks like whatever he was talking about here, like blurting out all of this stuff that he's been transferring in small bits, that gets cut off. That access to whatever this is back here gets cut off. He knights over to the key over here. If this is talking about his access, the key would be something that unlocks. It's your access to something. Okay, if this is talking about his access to secrets back here, only because it's followed by the clouds, and the clouds goes back to the book. If this is talking about his access to clearance, his clearance may get cut off. And that's why he lands in the house of mountain, and the mountain is back here. It's like she gets cut off from the government, and there's a strong possibility that he gets his clearance revoked as the investigations start and this guy gets drug in. We can see that whatever opportunities he was having within an organization or within a community, perhaps to do with this person here, he's stepping into a world of trouble because of that. And then here we're seeing a person in a position of authority that's the VIP of this organization. So I don't know. William Barr has a tendency to show up as the bear for me quite a bit. So I don't know if this is William Barr in conjunction, because there's more than one here, in conjunction with his father, and also perhaps his contacts and his permanent agreements here with overseas power, that gets exposed. We can see here that he's been blurting out and taking opportunities to do stuff with this person in a position of authority, whether that's one person, two people, more than one, for money. He's been transferring stuff successfully, but then all this crap happens. Here's the hammer coming down, guilty, isolation. Guilty, gifts that are burdensome. His opportunity runs out this way. It runs out this way, and then there's, this could be talking about with the clover knighting over to the tower. That could be talking about a lucky organization, an opportunity within the government, or a lucky corporation, perhaps luck that he was able to find through townhomes or condos or something like that. This person here in a position of authority is guilty. And this person transfers or leaves and returns. but then there's a transfer here in isolation. So he's about to like step into a world of hurt here. She gets cut off from the government, and it looks like if this is talking about his clearance, that gets cut off as well. And like I said, I really wish I could tell based on these past events if I had some sort of confirmation of when all this stuff happened, so that I can try to piece together the timeline that's going on here. Like I said earlier, this could be right now, and then we're looking at September, October, November, December. I'm not quite sure. Let me see here. I'm having a hard time figuring out who this person is. All I can do is knight the dog, knight him, or follow his chain of houses. So if I knight him, this is a friend of the family or someone that's loyal to the family, but they're guilty. They get found out as guilty. This person may also be getting, is in some sort of an agreement, or has loyalty to the family. But this could also, like I said, could quite literally be handcuffs for this person. This person could also be the whistleblower, but I'm not quite sure. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we have the stars in the house of dog. And the stars is catty cornering right here. So I'm wondering if this is the whistleblower that, and what they perhaps put on this report. Let me see here. So let's follow this person's chain and let's see where that goes. So we have the dog in the house of moon, the moon in the house of sun, the sun in the house of woman, woman in the house of clouds, clouds in the house of book, book in the house of whip, whip in the house of letter, letter in the house of ship, ship in the house of fish, fish in the house of cross, the cross in the house of crossroads, crossroads in the house of key. The key goes back to this person here, the bear, which goes back to Jared Kushner. That goes back to the mountain. That goes back to the stars, and then the dog. So let me see if I can piece that together here. It's almost like it could be read as this, whoever this person is shines a light and exposes this woman, Ivanka Trump, and something that they've had to do with covering up chronic corruption. That's what's on the report, and perhaps something that has to do with a message that was being sent overseas, or a document that had to do something with overseas, or some sort of letter somewhere for overseas that had to do with money. Could be business problems, financial problems, money problems, and a burden on the elections, perhaps, to get this guy right here, the important person in a position of authority. That goes back to him, and that's how he gets taken away, or not taken away, but blocked from this up here. So I'm wondering if this is in reference to the whistleblower exposing what him and Ivanka Trump have been doing and setting up back channels for payment, for money to come in to secure this guy's election. Because the letter is up here and it's followed, these are the three cards that are before it. I'm wondering if this is talking about blackmail. Mail that is abusive. Quite literally mail or a report that's abusive. So I'm wondering if this whistleblower can expose, or will be exposing, how these people have been blackmailing foreign powers, as well as how both of them and her have been being blackmailed themselves. So I'm wondering if this right here is in reference to the whistleblower. Another thing I wanted to look at was the chain of houses for the ring, because this agreement I can only see right here. I can't see ahead. So it's like there's an agreement here that gets cut off. If we knight the ring, it knights over to the scythe. So this could be a broken promise or an agreement that gets cut off after it's exposed, and that's how they get blocked. And it knights over here to the tower. So it's like they're breaking off an agreement with the government, and perhaps breaking off an agreement, or because the tower lands in the House of Lilies, I'm wondering if this is also talking about a judge. I'm not quite sure. It could just be talking about this person here that's royalty. So they perhaps get exposed, and a promise that this person has made gets cut off, and that's how he loses his clearance and she gets cut off from the government. So for the ring goes to the heart, which goes back to the snake, which goes back to the tower, that goes back to the lilies, that goes back to the tree, that goes back to the house, which goes to the anchor, and then it goes back over here to the ring. So that's the chain for the ring. We can see that there may have been, or there will be, a betrayal in a marriage. There's serious legal problems and a betrayal to the government. MBS, and that was a long-term agreement, or that was the agreement that had been reached. So it looks like the agreement is going to be exposed for his betrayal to our government, because he's been in cahoots, his permanent relationship and permanent agreement that he made with MBS up here. Let's look at the mice. I'm going to take a look at this little square here to see what they've been stealing. We're going to knight, and then we're going to follow the chain. So for the mice, let's see here. There is something suspicious or manipulative, perhaps someone that's been undercover that gets exposed here. Or this could just be some sort of fraud that's been taking place secretly that gets exposed. Here is the report, quite possibly, or some sort of a document that is quite critical. That has to do with chronic corruption and a betrayal to the government, or it could be also legal problems. And then here we're seeing the royal family that has been gifted through conversations an opportunity for their community or for their country. We're seeing the fraudulent message here to the royal family, or a covert message to the royal family, secrets that were stolen and gifted, and perhaps technology that's a betrayal to the country and an opportunity for this country here. There's a fraudulent gift here, or whatever was gifted was covert. There's a secret that gets exposed here, a gift of technology here. This could be a woman, quite possibly, because the snake is the queen of clubs. So this could be an intelligent woman with the fox knighting over to the snake. It could also be a woman that is a spy. If this is a woman that is a spy, she could quite possibly be a redhead. I don't know if there is a link anywhere here with Maria Butina. This organization here may have weapons, because we have the clover and the clover in the house of, what is this, garden, and it knights over here to the scythe. The scythe also knights over here to the garden. So I'm wondering if this is in reference to the NRA, because it's catty cornering here, and it's catty, and it knights over here, and this knights over there. So I'm wondering if there's some sort of stuff going on here also with the NRA, perhaps a woman that was undercover here, that was perhaps using sex with the snake over the whip, was using sex as a way to gain access for the elections with the crossroads going back to the key. So I'm wondering if Maria Butina is in here somewhere. Let's see, where else did I stop knighting? This family, this royal family, this family that has a legacy, is betraying the government. But that gets exposed here, and it gets exposed here. This is where they're taking small bits of secrets here. And this is a corrupted person in a position of authority, corrupt power. This little line right here is also quite interesting because this could be talking about long-term child abuse here. Or child abuse, but also sex with this right here. The ring is way over here. It does at night. However, the anchor is on the house of ring. There may be some sort of a link here as well that has to do with some sort of ring for this right here. That is in the past. But as we move forward this way, it all gets exposed. Let me see what else we can look at. We've already looked at Kushner. I'm thinking, you guys, and I'm having a hard time with this timeline because I don't know when this happened. So I can't tell when this is going to happen, but she's losing access to the government. Her charity's getting shut down. He's going to lose access as well. Because he's got the scythe right over him. If we look at this line of influence here, that's influencing him in this direction. This is an affair, love, that is being betrayed. It's false, and then it gets cut off. So this could be a broken heart from betrayal. It may have something to do with this person that was cut up. I hate to say that, you guys. It's just disgusting to me. I'm so sorry. And that's how he gets blocked. But it's like he has this person here. He's got a VIP, more than one. So I'm wondering if this is William Barr and Donald Trump that are protecting him. He is over this person here. Okay, so it means that he is in more control of this person than this person of them. And it's like they're helping him out, but they can only help him out so much before this happens here. And also I wanted to note that I didn't note everything up here, this double line of 8. This is everything that's on his mind. He has no control over anything that's going on up here. He only controls what's here and what's beneath him. Okay? Let me see what else I can get out of this. Like I said, I was having a little bit of trouble. Sorry about that. I'm having trouble with this right here. Like I said earlier, this could be guilty, big trouble, handcuffs. If I'm looking around him, if this is his clearance, it may be in trouble here. If this is his clearance, it gets cut off here and he's blocked from it. And he's also in the house of Mountain. So he may lose his clearance as the investigations take place. And I'm going back, I'm just comparing this one to this one. The investigations into the kids, the 2 children, are being investigated here, or on Donald Trump's grand tableau. It could just be talking about the criminal conspiracy and extortion of a foreign government to help him investigate somebody else's child. But either way, he's got the scythe over his head and he's stepping into the cross. Also, I wanted to note, hold on, I lost my train of thought. On Ivanka Trump's grand tableau, it shows, oops, sorry about that. It shows Jared Kushner going on a trip. On her grand tableau, the timeline was August through October of this year, 2019. It shows him going on a trip overseas. Here we're seeing him going on a trip overseas. He's, this is MBS, leaving and returning, Jared Kushner, happy trip. Okay, so I'm wondering if this is October, and then we're looking at November, December, January. I'm having a difficult time piecing together the timing here. Like I said, I don't know if this is a couple of months broken up into each column, or if this is only going from October through December. So we're going to have to see how events unfold, and as they do, I will bring this back up and we'll review it, identify where the situation is, and go from there. Because I'm not going to catch everything. There's just, I'm zooming in, zooming out. You know what I mean? Here he's knighting to the mice. He's knighting to the whip. We have the mice, let me see, in the house of whip. We have the whip in the house of letter. This is chronic corruption that perhaps has been documented with him knighting here. Legal problems or a betrayal to the government. He knights the tree, so that's the royal family. He knights Ivanka Trump, that's in big trouble. He's knighting over here to his money, and he's knighting over here to the family, property, business, and family that is guilty. He's also knighting to the key. He's knighting to the moon. If this is in reference to his clearance that was gifted to him by his father-in-law, because the key goes back to the bear. The bear has the bouquet right over him. It could be saying that his clearance was gifted by his father. He's going to lose it. And then there is the exposure of everything he's been doing in his career while he's been in government. And it looks like it gets exposed by this person here. Again, this could be the whistleblower. I'm not quite sure. Let's take a look at his chain, and we're going to follow it around the tableau. The man goes to the mountain. From there, we're jumping all the way over here to the stars, which goes back to the dog, which goes to the moon, which goes to the sun, which goes to the woman, the clouds. Let me see. The mice, the whip, the letter, the ship, the fish, the cross, crossroads, key, bear, and then it goes back to him. So let me see if I can piece this together for you guys. He's delayed or he's blocked. We're seeing the whistleblower. Maybe the whistleblower does come out, or maybe there's a report that the whistleblower wrote that talks about what him and Ivanka Trump have been doing and covering up what they've been stealing. And that's what's on the scathing report up here. It looks like it may be exposing foreign money that's coming in that the family is guilty of. It looks like they've already taken payment for the next election under the direction of this man. Or they could have sold access to him to have something, sorry about that, has something to do with the election. Hold on, let me look at this again. Dog, mountain, stars. Oh, I'm sorry. Man, mountain, stars, dog, moon, sun, woman, clouds, mice, whip, letter, ship, fish, cross, crossroads, key, bear, man. Maybe it's saying, it could be saying that he didn't have access to something and he got into it anyways. Because he's blocked. It's like he is facing an obstacle or he's blocked from something. And then we're seeing the whistleblower. What the whistleblower is exposing that he was blocked from. Then we're seeing Ivanka Trump covering something up or causing problems or confusion or big trouble around chronic corruption or stealing something chronically, because we have the mice in the house of whip. That's like, the whip is something that happens over and over and over again. It's chronic, it repeats. It's also sex. So there's like stealing chronically, and that's where the critical letter comes in, or an abusive letter, or it could be an argument as well on a letter or on some sort of document about foreign money. Foreign money, guilt, punishment for the election. The answer is, or the access to a person in a position of authority. Access to a person in a position of authority. That goes back to him. There's foreign money right here. This is the line of fate. This is usually read as an important message. Access to the election. Money paid. A permanent agreement that was made overseas. And family business, family property, family money. Here's his condos and stuff. The birds is back over here. It's very far from the tower, okay? This is a small meeting of people with, that was done in secret, corruption. Also, a spy here in secret that gets exposed. Let me see, what's in the house of tower? Here, snake in the house of tower. This could also be referencing that secret meeting that him and Junior took at Trump Tower, and they lied about it, and securing payment for the election, even though they may have said that this had something to do with adoptions. No. They took money. I'm also wondering if that meeting, even though it's far, the birds is far from the tower, but the snake is in the house of tower. So I'm wondering if this meeting here as well, that him and the person here on the stars is this person here. This person is someone that's loyal to the family, but that person has already been found guilty. We're only waiting on this guy for the hammer to come down on him. This guy's done. So this could be the whistleblower. It could also be Junior. And they lied about that meeting here, and that's legal problems that were in the past. I'm wondering if this was also a way to set up a back channel for money, because the money has already been paid. We have the fish in its own house. The money has already been paid. I'm going to see if I can follow, because if this is the back channel for money, this would be the back channel that how they're set. But who the hell did they set up a back channel with? It looks like it could have been more than one person. Could have been the bear, a country that's identified with a bear, and it could also be this person up here. Hold on, you guys. Let me see if I can follow this. I'm going to write this down on my notes. Sorry, because it's much easier for me to do it this way. So please bear with me. I'm going to follow the chain of houses for the crossroads. So the crossroads goes to the key. That goes back to the bear. That goes back to Jared Kushner. That goes back to the mountain. That goes back to the stars. That goes to the dog. That goes to the moon. That goes to the sun. Where's the sun? That goes back to the woman. That goes back to the clouds. Goes back to the mice. Mice goes to the whip. The whip goes to the letter. The letter goes to the ship. The ship goes to the anchor. That goes to the ring. Goes to the ring. That goes to the heart. That goes to the snake. That goes to the tower. That goes to the lilies, which is MBS. That goes to the tree. That goes back to the house. That goes to the cross. Wow, this is a long chain. It goes to the cross. That goes back to the crossroads. Okay, that's the chain. Let me see. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. Wow. That's a 24 length chain. Let me see here. The key is someone in a position of authority. Somehow Jared Kushner was blocked. And then we're seeing the exposure of this person or this person having something to do with technology. I do not know if this is Junior, if this is the whistleblower, if this is multiple characters. Like I said, this tableau has everything. So it's like a story within a story within a story within a story. So I'm going to reiterate again, as stuff becomes revealed, we'll pull this back up and find it and go through it. So the stars goes back to whoever this person is, who could be multiple characters in this whole saga. And that exposes Ivanka Trump, or another woman here who's in big trouble, chronic corruption, and then a letter for something that has to do with overseas, securing an agreement for betraying the country or legal problems. MBS, the family, and trouble with the elections. The cross goes back to the crossroads. That's problems on multiple, like huge burdens on multiple fronts. It could also be burdens that are spread out because the crossroads is also an action card. So it looks like they have set up channels here with the crossroads. It looks like he has set up a channel with this bear and these people up here. If Netanyahu's in here, I wouldn't know who he is unless he's showing up here with the moon. And because the dog goes back to the what do you call this? The stars. This could be, hold on here. This could be someone of a Jewish faith. So we could also be looking at quite possibly that person as well. Hold on. I'm pulling up my book here to double check myself. And I'm going to look up the part where it's talking about the cross actually signaling some sort of, if it's in reference to a religious faith here. Let me see. I'm thinking that this is I'm thinking this could be Netanyahu, because if we're looking at the cross, it knights over here to the dog goes back to the stars. If we were going to describe this as a religious faith with the cross and the stars, what religion is symbolized by a star? Star of David. Wow. If that is true, we're looking at Russia, we're looking at Saudi Arabia, and we're also quite possibly looking at a link here to a person that has a faith that has to do with a star. 3 back channels that I have been able to, if this is correct, I've been able to identify 3 back channels with those countries. It's like they have formed an alliance here, a permanent solution, a permanent partnership for money, access to buy this election to keep this person in power, and that's how they're enriching themselves here. Holy bananas. Did we follow his line? Yeah. Let's look at the what's coming in here on the first house. What opened up this tableau was the coffin. We're going to follow this chain. Well, first let's try to knight it. He knights over here to the stars. It knights over here to the mice. Stealing technology out of a box. For this bear, this royal family, and this person that's represented by a star. Their religious faith is represented by a star, who has a close relationship with the family. Also, quite possibly Junior here, and the Trump Tower meeting that they took, that they lied about to the government and betrayed the government. So for the coffin, we're seeing the coffin goes to the writer. The writer goes to the storks. The storks goes to the child. The child goes back to the book. The book goes to the scythe. The scythe goes to the fox. That goes to the clover. That goes to the garden. That goes back over here. Let me see. I'm gonna look at this. The end. There's news of an ending, news of a death, news of a loss that's being delivered. Through air travel or leaving and returning. Leaving and returning. Small secrets or a secret. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is a chain of 10. Let me see. This chain is 10 cards long. It's like he's delivering an opportunity to transfer something covertly through travel by air. So it's like every time he visits, he's delivering bits and pieces of information that he's stealing. And he's going to get exposed for that, and that's going to put an end. Wow. Okay. You guys, we're running really long on time. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. There's probably a lot more stuff that we can dig out of here. I hope it wasn't too hard to follow. I'm going to keep this on file so we can revisit it again later as more stuff becomes revealed. It's all here. From the timeline was October till 2020. I just can't tell if this is running till April 2020 or if it's only running 3 months ahead. because I have no way of knowing when these events took place and how far back this past is. If I had that framework, I can kind of piece together this and see how far this is going out, but I only have 3 columns. So I want to say thank you for being with me here today. I'm going to go ahead and work on the next one that you guys were highly requesting, which is William Barr. Please let me know in the comments section if you want me to break it up, because I don't know how long we've gone and I don't want to make these too long. So we just kind of jumped in and just haven't stopped. So please let me know in the comment section if you want me to break this up for William Barr. If you have any other questions on this grand tableau so I can pull it back up, I have the notes. I can answer you in the comments section. So thank you so much for being with me, you guys. I really appreciate it. Please keep the comments and the recommendations coming. I got a few to do some more on the non-crazy stuff. So I'll try to piece those in. William Barr is the next GT. I'm wondering if you guys want me to do one on Pence. And I think we should look at drunk grandpa Giuliani. He was just on Fox News on Laura Ingraham, I believe, and he was spewing some crap that he was taking meetings with Ukraine because he was told so by not the Justice Department, or not the Department of Homeland Security, the State Department. State Department, I think is what he said. So the president's personal attorney, who is not a government employee, is supposedly taking meetings with a foreign government on the behest of the State Department. Giuliani's on national TV eating horse crap and calling it Nutella. Like, I mean, I'm gonna have to do a reading on that. Let me know what format you want me to read that on. Because I'm thinking homeboy's in a world of hurt. So I'm going to wrap that up here. Thank you, everyone, and I'll see you on my next one. Bye-bye.